starting for real this time. We've been having a lot of fun. This is Brit-Simone with Organic Living Diva, focusing on health and wellness naturally and holistically. I have a dear good friend, Jessica Alexander Fields, with me today, and she has a very powerful story to share with the world. Jessica and I go way back. We've worked together, we've played together, and now I'm super excited as this woman rubs her awesome belly because Jessica is now entering the world of motherhood, and I'm super excited that she's here to tell the story of her life and also bring a baby into the world, and on the timely account of almost 2 years to the day of when my daughter was born. So it's really special for me to be able to share her story because I love her dearly, and we almost didn't have her in our lives. So before I get too emotional, I'll keep moving on. But Jessica is a goddess of transformation. She really has shown me that never giving up on what you've got in your life. Life is so precious, and it can be taken from us so quickly, or even bit by bit over a long period of time, as Jessica's experienced. And her tenacity, her determination, her never giving up is such a beautiful expression of the value that life has to offer. And now that she's come out the other side and is about to welcome her beautiful daughter-to-be, Cora, into the world, it's pretty exciting to be able to share this story. So this is a story of powerful change, powerful transformation from chronic illness and out the other end to a blissful, flourishing health and wellness story. So without further ado, I don't want to take all the story away from Jessica, but Jessica, please jump in here and share with us the foundation of where it all began with the pain and the struggles that you've been going through, so we can kind of understand it, especially for people out there who are watching this. Maybe this is you. Maybe you're going through something similar, or you have a family member that is going through something like this. Please do share this interview onwards, because Jessica's story is here to help other people know that you can supersede all of this. You can transform. You can come out the other side. You can live a whole, complete, and healthy life, even though at this moment you might seem like tomorrow might not even happen. So Jessica, tell us about it.
Thank you, Brit-Simone, for having me and being in my life. It's pretty amazing, the support that I had through the journey that I went through with chronic illness and being sick. So I'll just give you kind of a nutshell of what happened. And so for me, it was, I think, 3 years ago now, and we were adopting a baby, and the baby didn't come, which obviously, you know, I'm pregnant now. That's a whole nother story, but we'll get to that later. But we were adopting a baby, and we didn't end up getting the baby. And at the same time, literally the same week we were supposed to get the baby, my body was falling apart, literally. And I remember getting the flu back in December, and when we were getting the baby, it was, I think it was April or May, something like that. Mm-hmm. And the flu, it's like I could not come back, like no matter what I did. And most of my life I've been sick, and so I always had these tricks of like, okay, I know I can do this to get back to life and get back to like just working and managing, basically. Mm-hmm. It's not like I made myself better, I just made it manageable.
Right.
And I was young enough to where that worked most of my life, where I could do that because I was young enough to where my body would go, okay, and I'll catch up.
Right.
Well, this time it did not catch up. It literally shut down. No. And I got diagnosed the same week with chronic Lyme disease, which then we later found out that I've actually had it my entire life. I contracted it from birth. And there's a lot of controversy out there about that's not possible. Well, yes, it is.
Oh, it is.
And so what I ended up doing was I was in denial for a little while. I was like, this is not happening. I want a baby. I'm going to be a mom. So I'm just going to do this little treatment thing, whatever you guys are recommending, you doctors, and I'm just going to be better in like a couple months. Because that's just how I am in my head. And I know that sounds like I wasn't really that sick, but I actually was severely ill. I was in complete denial because most of my life I didn't realize that people were not in pain like I was. I was in pain my entire life. I mean, I remember being 8 years old and having knots all over my shoulders, and asking my dad to rub them out, and he going, "Why do you have knots over your shoulders at 8 years old?"
Right.
And Now it all makes sense. But, most of my life I just, you're just a complainer. Just keep going, just keep pushing. Well, that pushing got me into like some severe illness. So what happened was I ended up going to treatment for Lyme disease in Idaho for 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks. And it helped. It definitely was a jump start. But in my head, I kept thinking, we're spending $11,000 here on treatment for, no, it was more than that. I think it was like $15,000 for 6 weeks.
Not covered by insurance.
Yeah, nothing covered by insurance. And, I thought, I'm going to be done. I'm going to come home. We're going to, we're going to look for another baby to adopt because all doctors said I could never have a baby. We tried surgeries. We tried in vitro. So I came home and I was still sick. And I was sicker than ever. I mean, by that point, it was like my body was exploding. And so I spent the next 2 solid years driving myself every day to doctors, to getting IVs, to, you name it. And here's the kicker. This goes out to you people with Lyme. I feel you. If I had cancer, I would have had rides. I would have had meals prepared for me. I would have had people surrounding me. Yeah. Instead, people fled. I mean, she's not one of them, but they fled. I mean, they were just like, because you Google Lyme and it goes, they could be insane.
It's
they
all
could be
in your head.
And it's total BS. So that's just my heart space going out to you guys because you are heard, you are seen. I've gone through it.
You are loved.
Yeah, you are loved. And it's awful to go through that when nobody hears you or helps you or they just think you're crazy.
And it's not covered at all.
Yeah.
By any insurance.
Yeah.
So.
And then everybody just goes, what's wrong with you? Just snap out of it. So what happened was I had 25 other co-infections with Lyme disease, which was unreal. I mean, my doctor was just like, how are you walking right now? Because the numbers were crazy high.
Fierce determination.
Yeah. I was too focused on getting a baby.
I will until.
Yeah. And so anyways, like my husband and I made at that point, he was like, there's no way we can have a baby. Like, you can't even take care of yourself,
right. You could barely walk.
Yeah. And so 2 years goes by. A year of it was just literally giving all my power to doctors, all of it. Like, whatever they told me to do, I would do it. $7,000 a month to keep me alive. On average, we were spending every single month out of pocket. After about a year, I had a close girlfriend of mine say, Jess, you should really think about going vegan and trying juicing and stuff. And I'm like, dude, I've tried every diet out there, but I never really committed to vegan. Like, I think I tried it for like a week, but then, like everyone else, to go, oh, it doesn't work. And it's like, of course it doesn't work in a week.
Right, no, nothing works in a week.
Yeah.
You have to give it time. Your molecular structure, the turning over of your cells.
So anyways, I thought, well, what do I have to lose at this point? So I slowly started going vegan at that point where I was just taking meat out, meaning I was eating meat like every other day instead of every day. But then what happened is my body continued to shut down, meaning there were some issues that were a lot better. You look at my labs, you can see the labs were getting better. But I couldn't keep weight on. I dropped to 98 pounds, and I'm 5'8", so that's really, I mean, I looked like a Holocaust survivor.
You did. You lost your butt. That was a sad moment.
I lost
voluptuous
everything.
Booty, it was gone.
So what I ended up doing was she had introduced me to a doctor online. His name is Dr. Morse. You can Google him on YouTube. He has millions of hours for free.
How do you spell that?
Morse, M-O-R-S-E.
Okay.
And when you first see him, you're going to be like, I'm sorry, Dr. Morse, if you ever watch this, but you're going to be like, yeah, right, I'm really going to take this guy seriously. He's just some hippie. And I mean, that's kind of how I took it. I was like, this guy is such a hippie. If I showed this to my husband, he'd be like, hell no, you're not following this guy. And but I knew my intuition was strong enough to know that I was like, I don't have another way out here. And the doctors don't have an answer for me. I'm literally eating food and it's coming out the same exact way that it went in days later. So it would get stuck. So the doctors just kept telling me, keep eating more food. You need the food. You need the food. And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, it's not working. Like, I'm dropping more weight by eating this food. And so what I ended up doing was a 6-week grape juice fast. And this was one of Dr. Morse's recommendations. I actually never talked to him. I never talked to any doctor over there. I just went for it. And I committed to one day because we were out of money anyway. So it's not like I could have hired another doctor. I mean, I already had a team of doctors.
Right. And a lot of credit card bills.
Mm-hmm. And so we were kind of at the wit's end where I was like, I don't have any other choices here. And I'm tired of listening to these doctors that clearly, they've helped me in some issues, but not like what is really going on. Why can't I, eat this food? And so I did a 6-week grape juice fast, which was basically you buy organic grapes. It's very important that they're organic. And you cold press it in a juicer. And so it's important that you get a cold press juicer if you're going to do anything like this, because the high speed ones, number one, they have a massive EMFs that are not good for you. But then second of all, they oxidize the fruit. So all of the nutrients go poof out into the air. Not all of them. It's probably you probably get half the amount of the nutrients, but you have to drink it immediately. And so with a cold press juicer, you can I'll make 3 days worth of grape juice at a time. And then I just put it in the fridge and then pull it out because of the fact that it's cold pressed. Yeah. But you can do more research on your own about what that means. It was confusing to me at first. So I did this grape juice fast. The first day. No, by the way, nobody was on board. Not my doctor, not my husband, not my mom. Nobody was on board except for one person. It was my friend that told me about this doctor. Ricky, by the way. Woohoo, Ricky.
Thanks, Ricky.
So what happened is I did it. Day one, I passed close to 200 kidney stones that night alone.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, gee.
How is that even possible, right?
Ding, ding, ding. Hello. Yeah, there's freaking kidney stones in here. No wonder I can't digest or do anything. My organs had literally shut down. Yeah. And I learned all this through going online and watching Dr. Morse's YouTube videos because I didn't have any money, so it's not like I could hire him. So here I am.
Thank goodness for the World Wide Web these days, right? And research.
Right? So here I am, 98 pounds. My husband is having to help me as he's working all day long. He has to get up in the middle of the night. The second night I started vomiting black. The black vomit went on for a good 5 weeks. Wow. Just black. I mean, I would wake up and my tongue was solid black. And
I remember that I get all sorts of fun text messages from this girl for the last couple of years.
Like, hey, look at my tongue today. I'm dying. So I can laugh about it now just because that's my personality.
Well, we still laughed about it through the situation because what else are you going to do, right?
I know, it's like, woo. Anyway. And so... Anyways, it was mayhem. I was 98 pounds. I could hardly walk. I ended up having to text a bunch of friends and say, can you come over here? I need help with my lymphatic system because my lymphatic system was not moving. I couldn't get the stuff out fast enough. And so I needed help with just friends massaging me. Not a deep massage, but just the lymphatic kind. We would go on YouTube and I'd have them watch the video and do it. And thank you to my goddesses that came and helped me with that because that was really special. But
it takes a village, just like raising a child, taking care of someone who's healing.
But it also did scare the crap out of them because they were like, all I can feel is bone.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, you were a pencil.
So anyways, that is what was the jump start of where I was like, okay, yeah, I'm fully vegan now. I was so convinced and when I say vegan, I mean more plant-based because I don't really fit in that well with the vegans only because I'm extreme case, meaning I don't eat corn, I don't eat gluten, I don't eat soy, and most vegan foods out there are just packed with that stuff, and canola oil, I don't touch it. Right. Those things are not good for you. And so I see a lot of vegans that, they're still struggling with their health because they're consuming these certain things.
A lot of products that are made. With all these ingredients.
Processed, all that kind of stuff, because it's vegan junk food, basically. Right. And so what I do is more of a whole food, plant-based diet, so I'll give you an idea of what my day looks like. So, and I'll give it to you now, and then I'll kind of back up again after the grape juice fast. So now my diet looks like I get up in the morning, I drink a huge glass of distilled water with a lemon, and then I add some electrolytes in there. Okay. And the, trace minerals, because with pregnancy I'm burning through them like crazy. Mm-hmm. And so I drink that, and then about 20-30 minutes later I'll drink my beet, radish, parsley, and cilantro juice. It does not taste good.
It sounds good though.
Oh God, it's so... Yes, it's my kids laugh at me because I'm like... And so... But you know what? It is like so powerful, this drink, because the beet is a really good liver flush, amongst other things, B vitamins and all that. But then the parsley and the cilantro, I purposely put those in there for the minerals, but also the main part for me is it takes heavy metals out of your body.
Yes.
And so we're exposed to heavy metals every single day, wherever you go. It doesn't matter. You can walk out your door and someone just sprayed Roundup on their stupid lawn because they're stupid. Sorry. I hate that Roundup stuff, Monsanto. Yeah. And you don't even know that you're ingesting it. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, think about it. Like,
and then it gets in the rain.
Yeah. And then people are putting their kids on grass where they've sprayed all this. Yep. I mean, it's really scary, but that's a whole nother story. You can Google that stuff. And so then
we'll have another interview about all of it.
Yeah. But that's a whole nother story. And so the heavy metals, you know, they're from airplanes. They can, they're constantly dropped on us everywhere. And so, and they actually cause you not think as well. They make you tired. They cause dementia. And so when you cleanse them, you know, and it's not a one-time cleanse.
This is a daily routine.
Yeah, because of the environment that we live in. Now, if this is 300 years ago, we'd probably be fine. We could cleanse once a year. But that's not the reality we're in.
We're a busy world.
Yeah. And so that's, and then the radish, I can't say enough about radish. Radish is like the most potent form of vitamin C that I personally have found.
More than a lemon. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Way more than orange, anything. And it's a huge immune booster. So I'll get, like in the summer, I grow my own and I just take the radishes and juice them. But when I go to the store, I buy 2 big bunches, and then the most important part is do not discard the greens. The greens are the most potent part of the rat. It's way more potent than the actual radish.
Get them mushy.
Yeah.
They get slimy so fast.
I know. So I'll put my radish greens in a smoothie, or you can put them in a salad. They don't taste bad, so it's not something where you're like, oh, you know, like a mustard green or something.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do first. Then I make a protein smoothie. And in my protein smoothie, I'll put a bunch of fruit. I use a lot of things like wild blueberries, raspberries, particularly.
All organic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything's always organic.
Yeah, this is across the board. This is an organic conversation.
And so, what I do is I actually make 2 smoothies at one time for my day, because I do well with smoothies because they're so easy for me to digest. And I know there's controversy out there about that, where doctors say, well, it's not good to teach your digestion system not to digest. But I'm like, you know what? My digestive system has been through the ringer in this lifetime, so it needs a break for a while, you know?
Yeah, make it easy.
Yeah, and so I make 2 throughout the day, and then I have 1 in the morning, 1 in the late afternoon. And then for lunch, you know, I used to be more extreme when I was cleansing and stuff, where I only ate raw. But with pregnancy, it's been really hard because I crave, you don't have cravings, but they're not severe cravings, but they're more cravings for comfort food, you know, like warmth. And
but what our comfort food the other day was, you made me falafels, right? In romaine lettuce with fresh salsa that she hand chopped up into tiny little pieces. It was amazing.
Amazing. And then tahini on top.
Oh, it was so wonderful. Yeah.
And so those are the kind of, so it's not like I'm eating what other people are eating, really. I make everything myself.
From scratch.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to eat at restaurants because there's still, even vegan restaurants, there's so much soy and so much filler where it just ends up getting stuck inside my belly. And now I'm so clear on my body, like I really get it.
You're responsive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where was I at?
Well, you were sharing, you know.
I totally lost track.
We've gone from almost not being on the planet to now a focused vegan, mostly raw and definitely organic. And that it is possible, but you also, not only food, I mean, food obviously, you know, your mouth is the gateway to, and your teeth and your gums and all that health is the gateway to your digestive system and getting yourself in balance and working with your probiotics and all of that. But you are also gleaning a lot of support from things like essential oils. And
I ended up using essential oils quite a bit. They were great. I started taking them internally.
Okay.
And it really started helping, like, move my lymph, move out certain infections, because, like I said, by that point I was done with doctors. Where I was like, I'm not doing any. My veins had blown out, so I couldn't even get IVs anymore, even if I wanted to, because I had too many IVs in those 2-year time span. And so that's when I was like, okay, I got to take matters into my own hands, because all the doctors was like, we don't know what to do with you, and that's scary. That's scary because I had given all my power to doctors, and then in the end, they're like, we don't know what to do with you. And I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm so glad I put all of my faith into you. And so, but here's the...
Which just shows you how unknown this kind of illness really is. That it can't be pinpointed. It's a moving, chronic issue because the problems that you were going through, one day you'd have a pain in a certain area of your body, and the next day it'd be somewhere else. And so it was always transmuting, I guess is the word.
Moving word. Yeah. It hides. Lyme and co-infected, they love to hide. Where it's like, oh, you're going to put an injection here and try to kill me? Okay, well, I'm just going to move over here.
And let's not even go too deep about all the other stuff like worms and things.
Yeah.
I got some other weird texts of like, look at this that's coming out of my body.
Yeah, like I had massive parasites. Yeah. Me. Okay. Like, I don't look like I would have parasites, right? Okay. Like, I had massive parasites. And let me tell you, everybody has parasites. They just don't know it until they cleanse. And then you're like, oh my God.
Well, we also wouldn't be alive without the microscopic organisms all over our body and so forth. So we do need a healthy harmony of small creatures, and there's more of them in our mass than there is of ourselves. So we wouldn't live without them, but then there's ones that go on to the other side of the spectrum where it's unhealthy for us, and they are parasites that are taking over our immunity and our health and our wellness, and they're a detriment to our living a long and healthy and prosperous and it's pregnant life.
It's due to food.
Yeah.
So when people have massive sugar cravings, massive
because they're
cravings,
I need more food.
Any kind of cravings where it's like that deep fried junk food. It's not actually the human's craving; it's the parasite's craving. That's a whole nother ball game.
All right, another conversation.
Yeah. But and I know this because I remember taking parasite pills, and I would literally start sobbing because they actually release emotions in your body because they hold on to certain vibrations, which is a whole nother ball game. But if you don't believe me, go online. There's a million other people that they're talking about what I'm talking about. But the other thing I drink throughout the day is 22 ounces of orange, lemon, and lime juice. And then I add honey, which I know is not vegan, but I use a local honey. I know exactly where it comes from, and I'm a big believer in honey, that it's one
especially
of the best
local
antibiotics. Yeah.
Not blended from multiple other countries brought to your neighborhood. It's got to be your local bees.
Yeah. And then I put bee pollen, because bee pollen has a little bit of protein in it. And so I put that in there, and I call it liquid gold. It's my favorite drink, because I have to have I have to have some drink that tastes good, because the other ones taste so bad.
Because there's no even conversation about soda. That does not exist in our world.
No.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I drink, I know I keep going, but I literally consume all of this in one day. And then I make a good 12 ounces of celery juice, just straight celery juice.
Ooh, yeah.
And so it's not yummy. I hate it. But I love it, but I hate it. It's
I say yum because have I done it?
I know.
No.
I know you haven't done it.
I love celery, so I guess on that
sip maybe
capacity
was fine,
daily,
but 12 ounces
over and over and over. Okay,
so the main reason I use the celery juice is for electrolytes, minerals, but mainly to rebuild the hydrochloric acid. I'm probably saying it wrong.
No, you got it.
In my gut, because it got so severely hit with illness my whole life that my pancreas had shut down. I mean, everything had shut down there. And so what I do now is I drink that about an hour before I before I eat anything warm. Meaning, if I have a warm meal, like the falafel or the I like spaghetti, vegan spaghetti too, all gluten free and everything. Of course, I make.
Are you using the noodles, or are you doing zucchini noodles, or
I use with being pregnant, I'm using the regular quinoa noodles because they taste so good.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I'm like, oh, sorry.
Well, you gotta have
I'm human though.
Some level of comfort food. You pretty much eliminated everything else. So
and I like beans. I love beans.
Oh, I love my beans.
But I can only do
my
beans.
My husband can attest to that.
I can only do beans every couple of days though, because I've noticed it hampers my digestion if I don't. And that's the whole philosophy of keeping a raw diet. It keeps everything moving all the time.
Yes.
And then, not done yet. There's more.
On the food side?
Yeah. There's more that I consume in a day. So in my smoothies too, in the morning, I will take a whole head of kale and put it in there for protein. And I'll take, like 2-3 cups of spinach for the other one and put it in there. It's important that you get enough greens in your diet.
Definitely.
I've noticed a lot of vegans, they go vegan, but then they don't consume anything what I'm consuming.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that they're doing it wrong or bad. It just means as far as for health, and if you want real results, because you're going to hear a lot of people out there talking about plant-based diet, it healed me and blah, blah. Well, yeah, but what is that plant-based diet? You know, are you actually eating just the plants, or are you eating a bunch of mass-produced stuff? Because in my opinion, there's certain vegan cheeses out there. They're just as bad as the one with the animal products in it for your body. Now, I hear a lot of vegans say, well, I don't care because I'm just doing it for the animals. And I'm like, okay, but that doesn't make sense, because then you're not inspiring anyone to go vegan off of you. I mean, for me, it's like, I've had a lot of people in my life go vegan because of the fact that they've watched me transform. And they've watched my skin become flawless, you know, when I don't use anything but coconut oil anymore.
Yeah.
And they've watched me, you know, just have this supple, beautiful skin tone again, where I didn't have that. I mean, I remember having bumps all over my face, and like I was really not well. And so that's...
And even though you're pregnant right now and you have the pregnant glow, you were looking so much better before you even got pregnant.
Yeah. Because I had just beefed up my immune system, and I was doing all the right things to get pregnant in the holistic world, not in the Western world, in the holistic world. So I was drinking red raspberry leaf tea every day with nettle tea, and like the certain fruits that are really, really good for women to conceive, like cucumber, you know, blueberry, like the wild blueberries, but it has to be the right kind of wild blueberry. Raspberries. I mean, there's a whole list of foods that I would eat. Mango, where it actually helped me get pregnant. And I'll back up for a second, because 3 years prior to me starting to eat fruit, well, 2 years prior to me starting to eat fruit, I hadn't had fruit in my diet for almost 20 years. Because doctors, I had such bad candida flare-ups and infections that they kept saying, don't eat any sugar, don't eat, no fruit, no nuts. That is the worst advice in the entire world that you would ever give a woman. Ever. Even if she doesn't want to have a kid. It is the worst advice. And it drives me insane now when I see people running around, they're not eating anything that's actually gonna like build their you know, their reproductive system. Yeah. And so they're actually harming it. Yeah. By following what Western doctors are saying about fruit. And I'm telling you, I have watched hundreds of people now start to just eat fruit. They don't even change their diet that much. They just start eating fruit, and their skin, everything starts to transform, and then they don't get so scared anymore. That's actually how I got rid of my candida, was through fruit. So, anyways, what else you got? Sorry, we got interrupted by my husband.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up here. I mean, the other element, I mean, our whole focus is you can heal yourself. Well, definitely with the determination, never giving up. You have a support system, but really diving deep into organic, real, whole foods, yes. Your greens, your fruits, your veggies. It can be done. It's going to take commitment. It's going to take shifting your budget to a lot of these foods. I mean, people get blown away at seeing Jessica's shopping cart at the store, and buy as much as you can at Costco. Get it in bulk. And be really diligent to spend your time to chop everything up ahead of time, so you can make your plan. If you're somebody that does have a 9-to-5 job, or you also might be in a place where you're not even working because this is taking you down so far, have people help you. But it's really important that you dive into this kind of therapy. Yeah. So I'll circle around again. There's other things we want to talk about, but we're almost out of time because we don't want to make this go too long. But our point is, you can heal yourself. Jessica is now pregnant when she was almost not even on this planet a few years ago, and to see how much she's changed and grown in her spirit, and there's a lot of meditation and faith and love out there as well. That's a whole other story, and tons of support from people who do care about you. I mean, there are people that will get this, and you're not alone. But if you want to drop a message in the comments, Jessica is available for consultation. She's already working with clients, helping them go through whatever it is that they're going through in life. She's an incredible healer. She is a medium. She is able to tune into other forms of energy that not all of us are open to, perhaps, I guess, as a gentle way of saying it. She's an amazing woman. And that's why I wanted to do this interview, is because here Jessica sits pregnant. This is so awesome. I'm going to get emotional. But she even had visions about this. You know, she knew that she was going to make it through this, no hell or high water, and come out the other end. And she says, I'm going to be pregnant. I'm going to have a baby. And it's going to be a girl. And you know what? It is.
It is. So one last thing before you go, because I want people to understand the concept, because when you hear like, oh my God, she's eating all that food in one day. Well, yeah, it adds up. But when you're not consuming soda, when you're not consuming chips and snacks wherever you're running out and you're not getting your Starbucks coffee
and alcohol,
it's a wash. It's a wash. I'm telling you, my budget now is a wash. It might be a tiny bit higher than what I used to spend. But let me tell you, when you're spending $7,000 a month to keep yourself alive,
yeah,
this is a bargain.
It sure is. And it's doing all the right things for Jessica and her baby that's
baby.
about to sprout out into the world.
You got your baby.
And the room that we're
the
sitting,
belly.
Yeah, what? Show the belly. Woo,
Oh, yeah.
Baby in the side. And this is actually Jessica's. We know each other going way back from the jewelry industry, because my husband is a jewelry designer and an amazing metalsmith, and we had a business that we all coincided. Jessica is also a jewelry artist, so we're actually sitting in her jewelry studio right now, and it's about to be transformed into the nursery for Cora. So it's a pretty exciting space in which we're doing this. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please share the love, pass this message on so other people can know that there is hope. You might feel like you're about to die, but I'm telling you, if you are determined, you know, your life is worth it. Yep. You are worth it. So reach out, let people know that you need some help, and reach out to Jessica. She's here for you, and she'd be happy to share more of her personal story. So thank you guys so much. This is Brit-Simone and Jessica with Organic Living Diva, and stay tuned for more. Take care.